Hello and welcome back again to the YouTube channel of LearnClassicalGuitar.com. I'm Trevor Maurice, the owner and webmaster of Learn Classical Guitar, and I'm here to help you today. So, as I've said many times before, we all know how good and proper technique speeds up your development on classical guitar and it sets you free on the instrument. So, how am I going to improve your technique skills today? Well, we're going to concentrate on playing 2 and 3 notes together and how that leads on to playing chords. So, if you can't play 2 and 3 notes together, there's no way you're going to be able to play more difficult chords. And then, especially when you're doing melody and bass and inner voices all together. So if you can't do that, it can lead to a high level of frustration and it may even make you want to give up. So look, don't worry, I know exactly how you feel and I'm here to help, as I've said on all these lessons, because I've got 30 plus years experience under my belt of playing and teaching. I've been where you are, I know how you feel, but it's okay, I'll put you on the right track and I'll help you step by step to get from where you are now to where you want to be on the guitar. So as I said, today I'm going to teach you how to play 2 and 3 notes together in 3 easy steps, and the third step being an actual bonus. So step 1, I'll explain how to play 2 notes together and show you. Then step 2, I'll show you how to play 3 notes together and exactly explain how I'm doing it and showing you what to do and the little tips. And the third step is a little bonus on how these 2 methods are the basis for more difficult chords. Now, by the way, don't forget, after the lesson, make sure you use the link below in the description to go over to the free portal. So you can, if you haven't signed up, sign up in there and you can see other lessons related to this lesson. You can, there are many other lessons. You can download PDF guides. You can watch more detailed videos. It's a real help. It's all free. So don't forget to go and do that. Now, as I always say, just want to remind you again, if you practice a skill for 18 minutes a day, just 18, 1-8, after a year of practice, and the caveat is proper practice, mindful practice, there are studies that show that if you do that for a year, just 18 minutes a day, you become better than 95% of the people in the world for that particular skill. Now, it doesn't matter what skill it is, but in our case, it's classical guitar skills. So, can you imagine in a year's time playing for family, playing for your friends, your guitar buddies, and blowing them away with your skill and your musicianship? Now, that's the exciting idea, that's the goal you want to have in mind when you approach these lessons. Just keep that as the end result in mind and keep working step by step towards that. Anyway, with that, let's get on with today's lesson, playing 2 and 3 notes together. Okay, the first thing that we want to really concentrate on is the left hand and how you use the fingers. Now, I suggest you use the tips of your fingers, not the pads down here. Because if you use the pads, your fingers cut off and mute the other notes on the strings. Now here's a C chord I'll play on the tips of my fingers. I've got C, E, open G, and then the C again, and you can use the E at the top. So all those notes are really clear. That's using the tips of my fingers. Now if I use the pads, if I change my hand angle to use the pads, this is what it sounds like. Some notes will come out, but a few of them won't. Bit rough. Muted, dead. Muted, dead. Not very good. Muted, dead. This is the C chord with using the pads. Not very good at all. This is the C chord using the tips of the fingers. Beautiful and clear. That's the first thing. So the second thing to do, this is with the right hand. the distance to have between your fingers. Now today I'm going to show you, I'm going to play thirds. Now as we move up the guitar, I'm going to play with my first finger, the F, and I'm going to play on the second string, the D, with my third finger. So I've got my first and third fingers. I will be changing fingers, but I'll show you that in a moment. These are thirds. And they're all clear. Now, on the right hand, I've got, I think I mentioned in another video prior to this, another lesson, that when you're playing your fingers, there's no tension in your right hand. It's quite relaxed. There's only just enough tension to hold it where you need to hold it. And when you were playing separate notes, your fingers brushed up against each other just very slightly as you're playing. I think it was when we were doing the apoyando, which is the rest stroke, and the tirando, which was the free stroke. Now the trick to playing these two notes at once, and as I said, I'm going to play thirds. My M finger, the medio, is just resting slightly on the I or index finger. The distance between my two nails there are the distance between the strings, and that stays the same. It's almost as if these two fingers moving in the same manner as you would with the other method, just using one finger. Remember we in the lesson prior we used that squeeze method. We squeeze in and pull through, and the tips of your fingers go towards the middle of your hand. So what you need to do is just pull that through almost like one finger, and they stay the same distance. So I'm playing first fret and third fret. Don't really have to know the notes. First fret and third fret. Move up 2 frets. So I'm playing the third fret and the 5th fret on the same strings. Move up just 1 fret with your third finger and put the second finger down for this. Then go 1 fret past the second finger and go back to the first and third. And then 2 more frets up. And then we come back down again. Okay, let's try that again slowly together. First and third, third and fifth, fifth and sixth, sixth and eighth, eighth and 10th. Back down again. The 2 and the 3, back to 1 and 3. Let's try that little exercise again, but just slightly faster. Now don't worry if you can't do it at this speed, which is not very fast. You can always practice it by yourself until you can get it up to speed, and then play along with this video again in the future. That's okay. Okay, this is the speed I'm going. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it's not fast. On the first time up, we'll do it twice through. On the first time up, I'll go through camera 1, which is the one I'm looking at now, and then I'll swap to the right hand camera so you can see how those 2 fingers are working together as one, a little bit closer. Here we go. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Go for the right hand camera. 2, 3, 4, and okay, so that's the 2 notes together. That's the technique in both hands. Now, of course, we're going to move on to the 3 notes now. The left hand stays the same. You're still using the tips of your fingers. I'm going to use those same notes again, but I'm going to add just the D bass, so we have 3 notes. So you're playing a 3-note chord. Very sort of, so we've stepped up from the thirds. to really playing chords, but they're just very easy chords in only 3 notes at once, because you need to work these things up step by step. Here we go for 3 notes. Now, same notes. Let me do it first, just watch me. I'll do it twice. I'll do it in camera 1 and camera 2, the right hand camera, and then I'll do a little exercise where you can play along with me. I'm going slow on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Camera 2. Okay, let's try that a little bit faster together. So I'm playing the D bass. I'm playing my 3rd finger on the 2nd string, my 1st finger on the 1st string. The only time it changes is in the 3rd one, where we use 2 and 3 instead of 1 and 3. And then we go past that and do the 1 and 3 again, the 1 and 3 again. Let's go slightly faster. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Camera 2. How did you go? Good, I hope. Now, as I said, don't worry if you can't do that fast. Just work up to it slowly and then come back to the video and practice along with me in the future. Okay, the point to remember is when you need to synchronize the hands together for this, obviously, and time them together, and that's why it's coming out so cleanly and in a legato form, which is smooth and connected. You could practice it staccato, which is short and detached, like this. You just put your right hand fingers back on to make it staccato. It's a great technique. I'm synchronizing the hands. But because I'm synchronizing them so well, that's why I'm getting the legato, the smooth and connected sound. Okay, that's a point to remember. Synchronize your hands. Okay, this time we're going to take it up a notch again for today. In the fact, like we did before, we're just going to change the dynamics. We're going to go from soft to loud. Okay, so that'll help you in your coordination of both hands. Now, let me do it first. I'll show you what I mean. Starting back in the same starting place. After a slow 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, soft getting louder. Loudest there. Getting softer as we go down. That's what we need to do. Let's do that together at that speed, because we've added another dimension into this, so it's slightly harder again. You have to concentrate a little bit harder, but it's good because it makes you focus, and that will develop your skill. Okay, here we go. Soft to loud, back to soft. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Right hand camera. Okay, that's a really good exercise to do, and it also also makes you really focus and concentrate in on what you're doing and gives you that quality practice. Don't forget, step by step. That's what we're after. Okay, the last point I'd say is just to do that, to get the repetition on that, and it's just the more you do this, the better you'll get. So practice these things over and over. Aim for maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes for a week or two of doing this, and then that will really get you prepared for the bigger chords. I've got the 4-note chord here, the D chord. I've got a C chord, G chord, even with the strumming, F chord. But before you can get these chords, you've got to be able to do the you've got to be able to play the 2 and the 3 notes. Well, obviously individual notes first. Then we step it up now to 2 and 3 notes, getting that really clear and making sure that you hear it you're focused on it in your ear. It's not just rough, half-baked practice. You're really focusing in on what you're doing, and that will lead. All these things lead step by step. You're building upon skill, upon skill, upon skill. You do this for a year and you are going to be surprisingly good. Okay, so I'll leave you with that today, and you can practice and really get this together. I'll see you in the next lesson.